what's going to happen to all this money? How come it's been a couple days now and nobody's come out and said anything except all players will be contacted?
It's the PokerNews Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 897th episode of the PokerNews Podcast. I am Chad Holloway, joined by Kyna England, and PokerNews ambassador Kyle Anderson is back at the World Series, filling in for Mike. Mike is currently in a tournament. There is a chance that he shows up here midway through, and Kyle, if he does, we're going to boot you. It's Mike's share, so he gets first dibs.
For sure. I think he even mentioned I might go through the table. He's going to cut a promo for the championship, so we'll see what happens. Could be exciting.
Well, we do have a good episode. We are going to talk about, we like crime on this podcast. We talk a lot of crime, and this one's unfortunate. It was a shooting on the Las Vegas Strip. Kind of spilled over into the WSOP. A lot of fears there. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about a controversy, a color-up controversy from the WSOP, an online bracelet event that was canceled and caused a lot of anger. A bracelet winner who got an extra $1 million thanks to a special ClubWPT Gold promotion. We're going to get into recent tournament winners, including Josh Reichard, good friend of ours, lots of bracelet winners. And I'm going to tell you guys where I've been and why I'm wearing this necklace. So
we missed you. Welcome back.
Yeah, we had some episodes, but they were kind of pre-recorded, a little offbeat. You may have noticed. We're back to the grind now, 2 episodes a week during the 2025 World Series of Poker. But I had a grand adventure that I'll get into at the end of the episode. Let's jump into it. This shooting that was on the Las Vegas Strip. Kyle, I know you had just gotten into town. You're staying at the Sahara, and you said you kind of seen like the shit hitting the fan on the Las Vegas Strip.
Yes, so I actually, now thinking about it, the Uber driver is just like, oh, we're going to go not on this strip. I don't know if he knew or anything like that, but we saw police officers even like not on the main strip there and everything. There was definitely a lot of commotion. I had gotten the message in our PokerNews Slack that something was going down. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is like, the timing is very close. Like the location's right there too and everything. But it was definitely police officers everywhere. It was very tense for sure.
Yeah, it took place at the Bellagio Fountains, which is literally across the street from the WSOP.
Yeah, I was at the Venetian when it happened because I was still in the tournament. But I was getting it in 2 different group chats. Like somebody's like mass shooting at the Bellagio, and I'm telling my table, I'm like, I hope this isn't true. And everyone's like, I hope so either. And like we were trying to find stuff on the news, but they're very quiet about stuff here until they figure out what happened. But yeah, I mean, when I left, I probably left the Venetian about 12:30 at night, and I didn't see anything. I was probably too far down, but definitely very scary, man, that kind of stuff can happen around here.
Yeah, there was, it started spreading, like you said, in our PokerNews group chat. We want to make sure our employees are safe. Asher Knief, he tweeted about it.
Yeah, I
saw that. And others as well. And it just starts this, I want to say panic per se, but, there was a couple years ago, a active shooter rumor, and it started a panic at the WSOP. It's just such a scary situation. In this particular incident, it wasn't a random shooting. It wasn't like a mass shooting per se. It was a targeted shooting between 2 YouTubers. A Sin City Manny, Manuel Ruiz, was the shooter and had an ongoing feud with somebody known as Finny the Legend. I don't know, shot him dead and his wife.
The video is just kind of
sad.
Like hard to watch. And I think like Elvis Tumis tweeted something that was like, I remember back in the day we used to use our fists and then our mothers didn't have to plan an obituary or something. It's like, come on, guys, there's better ways to settle this. And in front of everybody, that's just, God.
There are some videos out there that we're going to show a few here of just kind of the police presence that happened around it. Check it out.
Must have been in front of Bellagio.
Right there, he's shot.
Oh my God,
I watched him
really?
fucking bust a gap in him.
No way. During this time, you have to be careful.
Like on the fucking strip, dude.
Oh, what
did
the
he
hell?
run?
มึงอย่ามาเฮ้ยมึงไปก่อน
Yeah, keep
So there you have it. Very scary situation. They did arrest Manuel Ruiz. He's, the Las Vegas Metro Police Department released a statement on social media. The guy's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. There's no doubt about it. He'll get his trial, but it's all on video.
Yeah.
To toss your life away for YouTube clicks or whatever it was, the feud. I don't know. I don't get it.
I saw something too about how the day before he posted something like he was driving around looking for this guy so it is premeditated. He planned this, and I don't know. I guess good luck in jail.
Yeah.
Talking about prison again.
It's tough,
I
man.
think I would do well in there. Just kidding, guys. Just kidding.
Well, let's talk World Series of Poker. There was a controversy from event number 28. This was a $600 no limit hold'em PLO mixed event, 2,775 runners. There was just a handful of players remaining when Tyler Brown, who you might remember in, I think, 2023, burst onto the scene, won the Mystery Millions for $1 million in his first bracelet. Well, he's deep, and the floor people come over and say they want to color up some chips. They want to color up $3 million, take all of his, whatever it was, 25Ks or 100Ks, and he didn't want to give them all up. And it just started this, butting of heads. And I know kind of when we were talking about it, you said you've been in a situation like that before.
Yeah, I was in the bounty tournament, and the floor people are doing a good job. I like a lot of them. I'm friends with a lot of them, but some of them were just very aggressive with the color up. People are in a big spot. We're deep. We're less than 100 people left in this tournament. We're playing for $1 million and several $1,000s worth of bounties, and they're just interrupting people to get these racks, and they're trying to hurry it and come on, fill the rack, give me the rack. And I think it was before that though, I had a color up incident where they were trying to take a whole bunch of my chips too, but I was like, you know what, I need some of these, this is too many, I have to be able to bet. And they were like, okay, and they did compromise. So I don't know what's going on with some of the floors over there, if it's just a power trip thing or what's going on, but I think just a little bit more communication here, guys. Let's slow down a little bit. There shouldn't be as much of a rush. I feel like with the new system in place with the iPads and the app, it makes I'm assuming it's making their job a little easier. So let's slow down, take a breath, and work things out together as a team.
Tyler Brown did take to Twitter, and he also talked to Poker News about it on a break. This is before he went on to win the event.
Yeah, and then he wins. Yeah, good for you, Tyler. Good for you.
We've got some videos, the Poker News video first, and then some from his on social media in which he explains the situation. Check it out.
You got a 1-round penalty, is that right? Over
did.
A color up situation. Can you talk me through exactly what went down?
Yeah, so it was a very long scenario. I probably can't get into literally everything, but they came by in the middle of an orbit and middle of a level and wanted to color up my chips. I don't think I've ever refused to color up doing this, but they wanted every single chip that I had that wasn't a 100K chip. So I offered them instead to give them 2 million instead of 3 million and keep 20 stacks of green. They refused, and they said that they needed a full rack of green. I continued to refuse until they would give me an official ruling. They had to call over several floor people. One of them tried to tell me that the hand I was currently in was dead because they needed to pull me away to talk to me. Instead, after this all got sorted, they ended up taking the 2 million, which is what I had originally wanted. And on the way out, the original floor person who made the ruling, who wanted the 3 million chips, told me that I didn't offer to give them 2 million, that I was refusing entirely, and I may have yelled out an expletive and got a 1-round penalty for that.
Okay, so you got penalized not over the refusing to color up. Can you say exactly what to do? Yeah, that's what we figured. Now you're among the chip leaders right here. So did you kind of stop and think maybe I better just silence it? I don't want to get DQ'd. I'm deep in a bracelet event here. There's a lot of money involved.
I would understand that. I think they had no grounds to DQ me personally, so I felt really strongly about that. They had even threatened to, over the color up situation, they had threatened to DQ me, which is unbelievable. I was okay with the 1-round penalty. I shouldn't have said what I said. I'm okay losing 2 big blinds. I felt like I wanted to prove a point. They escalated the situation way beyond where it needed to be. I think one of the 3 floors in that situation were very reasonable and even printed out the rule for me, made sure I was aware. I really appreciated that.
Sure. Now, do you feel like maybe I could have handled the situation better? If this situation arises coming up at another event?
Of course, I personally could have handled it better, but I was a little over the entire thing. I think I could probably count on both hands how many incorrect things they had said or done, so I was just... All right, so I'm outside on dinner break of the 600 no-limit PLO, or final table. I finally got a chance in a little bit of composure to recap what happened. The bulk of it is on Poker News. I'm sure you can see a little video of me recapping what happened. Effectively, I didn't want to color up every single chip that I had. They were trying to take it all for some reason and wouldn't hear no for an answer when I offered to give them 2/3 of what they wanted. So some stuff was said. There was, while this is all going on, we're in the middle of a level, in the middle of a hand, and two people sitting next to me, one guy bet and got shoved all in on. So while this chaos is happening, he's waiting on a decision when he's all in. Me and the floor are yelling back and forth at each other. He is grabbing my chips out of my stack, telling me, this is my way, we're coloring up exactly what I want. Too bad. And I'm trying to stop him. He's reaching over me to grab chips out of my stack. It was quite a scene. So that's more or less what happened. They had to call several floor people over. I'm sure some of them didn't get 100% of the information that happened. I got threatened to get DQ'd twice, once over not wanting to color up a certain amount of chips. And all I asked for them was to read me the rule that said they could take them at any point, especially while hands were going on. We were fighting in between me having hands and so forth. Part 3, because I wasn't really done, and now I'm all steamed up again. I wouldn't have too much of an issue with all of this. I may not have pushed back as hard if I felt a little more respect for the floor person. This is the same person, like I had previously mentioned. We were final 4 tables and he was distracted on his phone, so we didn't catch that the blinds went up, and a couple tables played one less hand at a higher blind. On top of that, we're final 2 tables, 10 people left, 1 off final table, and he was busy watching the Colossus tournament. And we had no floor oversight to see if people were playing at the same pace, if anybody was tanking. Some point, as we combined to 3 tables, 2 people were sitting in the wrong seat for almost an entire level until we came back from break and realized they were wrong. These are just very minor things that I think that they need to focus on a lot more than being picky about how many chips they color up.
So there you have it. I thought he was very calm, cool, collected, measured, right? He didn't seem to lose his cool. He did yell an expletive. I guess, told the guy to fuck off or something, and did get a 1-round penalty, which, you think that's fair? And you can't tell the floor people to...
I think that's fair. I mean, I think it's probably fair. I've gotten spicy penalties for swearing before too. And then they're just like, this is just what we have to do, okay? I'm like, all right, stand in the corner and take your penalty. But the fact that they were considering like disqualifying him, I think that's just a little bleeped up. Disqualification for a little altercation here. He didn't hit the guy. Right.
There was a poll on Poker News and 49% said, the penalty was deserved. 34% saying no and 17% saying unsure. It really wasn't because he was arguing, I think, against the color up. It's just, you just can't swear at a floor person.
You can't do that.
Rule 106 in the WSOP rulebook states, quote, floor staff control the number and denomination of chips in play and can initiate discretionary color ups, which should be announced. So by the rule book, they can kind of do what they want. So
yeah. I mean, but there should be a little room for compromise. It's not like he was being like, no, don't take any. He was like, just leave me one of those million, so I have some room to maneuver here.
Right. Well, Tyler Brown took it down $178,000 in his second bracelet. Shout out to Easton Orman. He works for the WPT, a good friend of mine on the poker media side of things. Finished in 3rd place for $86,000. I don't know, not the biggest deal in the world, but definitely was just one of those things that was stirring up some talk on social media.
Yeah.
Which is what you're doing here, right? You saw that all day yesterday.
Yes, it's very interesting. And it's high pressure situations for everyone. Everyone's stressed. Everyone wants, they're playing for a lot of money. The floor's got to get everything settled in and everything. So it's definitely more the reaction, I think, that was the issue versus the coloring up issue per se. So it's tough when you react that way, for sure.
Well, another big controversial thing that happened at the World Series of Poker this week was an online bracelet event was taking place. So you had a lot of players who were actually physically playing an event, but they'll play it online on their phone or iPads or whatever it might be. I think it was day 2 of event number 7, a $250 mystery bounty. the 100K bounty was already gone. The couple 40K bounties were already gone. And then shit just hit the fan. The tournament crashed. People were booted. And panic ensued. They were getting error messages. And people didn't know what the hell was going on. Did you see this?
I thought that, so were people initially let in and then they were booted out? Like, I thought there was just people couldn't get in at all.
I mean, the tournament was happening.
Yeah. But people like couldn't get in even to start at the start, I thought was. No?
I mean, I don't know. That it could have been, it's like, it seemed like they were all over the place. Some people could get in.
Yeah.
Were not having any issues. A lot of people were in, got booted, and maybe some couldn't get in at all.
I mean, 2 of my friends were in it. They got in and they stayed in, but a couple people I heard from couldn't. I mean, this is where we need Mike here, right?
I know. I was hoping he would be here.
I texted Mike. I was like, I'll do my best, okay? But like, what's going on over there, man? Like half the field is all of a sudden booted. Is anyone even watching? Like, we're playing for like hundreds of thousands of dollars here, and is nobody monitoring this tournament? Somebody just like doop doop doop. Oh, look, people are booted.
I honestly think that's the case.
Why can't they just like tough. Instantly pause it when they figure that nobody's watching this, right? Nobody's watching all this. How many people are over there monitoring these tournaments where hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes millions of dollars are being given out, guys? Come on. What's your budget for like staff and like online support over there? It can't be nothing. And what's going to happen to all this money? How come it's been a couple days now and nobody's come out and said anything except all players will be contacted? Now, I fired one in that, like, just one, and I didn't make day 2. So, like, what is going to happen if only the day 2 players are getting, like, reimbursement? Or are they just keeping all the rest of the money? There should be a statement. They should have put something out. They should have reassured players by now, but they haven't done any of that. Yeah,
so as we're recording this, there could, by the time this airs and we're recording this, something could change.
Yeah.
But as of right now,
let's hope.
Yeah, the only thing that we've got is a tweet that the WSOP put out that basically said they encountered technical difficulties, which, a lot of problems. Therefore, the tournament has been canceled and all players who were in the field on the start of day 2 will be contacted.
Yeah, I mean, Kev Math is doing a better job of updating people than they are. Like, he's over there at the office talking to people saying, like, what's going on? We don't know yet, guys. We don't know yet. He's still trying to put out updates to keep people informed, but he doesn't know, like nobody knows.
And people were pissed. Like, the Twitter result, like, to that tweet, all the messages. I actually had one of the guys who won one of the $40,000 bounties reach out to me personally on social media asking me, do I have any insight? Do I know? Which I do not.
Yeah.
Because he's worried.
That's a big sweat, man.
Yeah.
Like, you think you win $40,000 and they're like, just kidding. Everyone gets their money back. Like, what? Like, come on. It's wasting people's time too. There has to be some sort of concept of how much time some people put into this, how much energy. And you know what? Bite the bullet, pay everybody what they got. That's that.
I think so too. And like here's the great fallacy about the World Series of Poker. And I've said this for many years. So like if you're listening to this, if you're watching this, what do you think when you think World Series of Poker? You might think that this is an operation that's consisting of hundreds of employees, maybe thousands of employees or whatever it might be. And yes, that's true right now with the dealers and stuff that's beefed up, but these are all independent contractors. When it comes to the actual World Series of Poker, it's like a little office here in Vegas with less than a dozen people who work for it.
That's just
probably
insane.
Less than half a dozen people that work for it, to be honest.
I mean, I get that on the live side of things, like maybe to organize and you're hiring outside staff. Okay, you've got people coordinating staff. That makes sense. But on the online side, are they just sitting in like a janitor's closet, like having one person watch going off and like one person answering customer support? That's literally what it feels like sometimes. It takes like days, weeks for them to respond to customer support problems. This is absurd. This is really absurd.
Let's hope it changes with GG. Now that they got the ownership, they haven't sunk their teeth into the online stuff, right? They haven't gotten that part sorted in the United States, but hopefully they can, shore up things a little bit more. They got to know that now that they own the WSOP, how bad this looks. And Kyle, I know you deal with GG a little bit more because it is legal where you're from.
Yeah.
Do you think that, if they're ever able to take over the U.S. online client of the WSOP, it could help a little bit?
GG is the provider, the operator over in Ontario. Very smooth process. The prize pools are big and everything. They have a big footprint over there. So kind of like you said, Chad, honestly, with something that's unfortunately this egregious and everything, like they just have to come out and make it right to undeniable amounts and everything. Kind of like you said, kind of like, how do you not just press the pause button?
Yeah, who's
on
watching
the tournament? Like the second you get like wind that like everything's down and like they're playing for so much money and everything, you kind of just have to like, okay, we'll let you know when it all resumes and everything, or this is just people want communication in these situations. That's all it comes down to. Even if the communication is, we'll let you know as soon as we know everything's paused and everything like that. So hopefully they come out with a big statement. But yeah, I feel when GG takes over, it'll be a lot better.
There were like several other tournaments that day too that
it
were
wasn't just
affected.
the
And
bracelet
they did not address that. You know, they did not address what was going to happen to those other tournaments that people were just getting blinded out. And it's going to be in your nature. You see a guy sit out, you're going to steal his blinds, right? Like,
Yes.
I don't know what's happening. I'm just going to keep playing here and assume that guy, I don't know, fell off a ledge or something. You know, like there needs to be just better communication. And I'm sorry that I had to be Holtz today. I'm sorry, but it had to be said. And I know he would say the same thing.
I still think you were a lot softer than Holtz would have been. And I will say one thing that made it worse. I don't know if you saw this. I had it in my inbox. An email this morning from WSOP Online thinking, all right, maybe this is it, even though I didn't play, but like, no, it was just a promotion for the next tournament.
Please deposit. Maybe we'll give you something. Like, that's what my emails always say. Jesus,
and you get $20 free.
All right. Well, when we have an update on that story, maybe next episode, we will certainly follow up. Hopefully the WSOP, I don't know, figures it out because there's a lot of angry people. I want to thank our sponsor for this episode, WPT Global. They are doing a special 30% PLO rakeback right now. There's no catches, no small print. Every player at every stake of every PLO game, 4 or 5 card, receives 30% of their rake paid, returned every Monday. Whether you're an old hand at the great game or new to PLO, now is the perfect time to jump into the action at WPT Global. Head on over there. You can check out the review on PokerNews.com. As a PLO player myself, I really like the sound of 30% rakeback.
Sounds good.
Love
Nice
the
to
game.
hear. Nice to hear a company doing something for its customers, you know?
Well, speaking of which, let's talk about Club WPT Gold.
Oh, man, they hate money over there.
They gave away $1 million to Michael Lavin, who won a WSOP Gold bracelet in, let's see, which event was it?
The shootout.
Yeah, the shootout. It's the second bracelet, $1,500 no limit hold'em shootout, 1,299 entrants. He wins it for $267,000, but that's, he got $1 million on top because of this Club WPT Gold promotion. Kind of, we talked a little off air because you're familiar with it.
Yeah.
Tell the fans what that's all about.
Well, so we might remember the promotion Club Gold did over in December during the WPT, and they're doing something similar now. So they're hosting online free rolls and competitions on Twitter, and their ambassadors are giving away tickets. They're giving away tickets at Old Red too. If you go over there during dinner break, they're having a lot of giveaways. You can even just get some swag if you want to go over there, and they're giving out like half price meal deals, which the food there was pretty good. I had a sandwich. Nice. Anyway, back to the $1 million. If you somehow get a hold of one of these tickets and you win one of these major events, it's not all the bracelet events. It's like the big field ones. I don't know. Maybe we can find a list or something. But if you win one of these and you have a ticket, you get an extra $1 million from Club Gold. An extra. And this Michael Lavin guy had won one of the massive free rolls, and had himself a ticket. So we got another $1 million. Pretty sick.
That's insane. First place is $267,000, but you're playing for 7 figures.
That's
Kyle,
kind of
the
5X,
I say the ICM.
Oh my
the ICM implications, if it's even called ICM. I mean, you got to, I don't know, shoot the moon for this thing, for that. Just that. You're not even caring about the first place money now. You're aiming for that extra $1 million.
What did the great Ricky Bobby once say? If you ain't first, you're last.
You're last. Yeah, he beat Michael Rosito heads up for it. And he had ace deuce first ace 3, miracle deuce over there on the turn. I bet that's his favorite hand now.
Ran super hot that final table. You'll love to see it.
Love to see it.
$1,500 into 1.267 million.
What a sicko. Yeah. They had a party for him over at Old Red. Like I said, I'm going to pitch it for Club Gold. I'll be little ambassador. Sponsor me next. No, just kidding. But they are doing on the weekend. I believe I'm not sure. Don't quote me on this, but I think it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They're doing, it might not be all those days, so I'm sorry, but I know it is over the weekend. They're doing, if you go over there during dinner break, you get a half-priced dinner from their poker player menu, and they're just hosting parties over there. So they had a massive party for him. It's very loud and music, and it's fun, and it's a good environment, and they've got Club Gold stuff all over, and they're just walking around handing stuff out too. Hats. I think I got a lighter and a flask.
What a combo.
So, it's a fun time over there, and it's just I'd say from if you're walking from the horseshoe room, it's probably a good 7-minute walk, but seems worth it.
Well, it is pretty awesome that Michael Lavin was able to do that, and Poker News was there. Got a little video footage, a little interview. Check it out.
Poker News, we are here with Michael Lavin, the winner of the 1500 shootout at the WSOP bracelet. Congratulations. I mean, winning 270,000 is impressive. And then finding out $1 million on top, you must be feeling so good right now.
I'm over the moon. I can't put into words how happy I am right now. You know, you dream of this moment, but you never think it's actually going to happen. And to win a live bracelet, to win any live tournament is incredible. And to win a bracelet's even better. And to win an extra 1 million it's life-changing.
I mean, from the very first hand, having ace queen versus ace king, did you ever just feel like, I mean, we're not going to lie, you sun-runned it very, very
sun run. It was a sun run. It is what it is. I'm not ashamed. You know, I think I sent a text the day before. I'm like, somebody's got to win it. Somebody's got a sun run. Why not me? And it was me. And sometimes, you know, when you're playing online, you might feel bad when you run a little too good. I don't feel bad at all.
I have a little bit of a controversial question that we saw online going around. At any point at the tournament, with an extra $1 million on top, did you think, can I make a deal here with these guys? Like, because people are asking, and so we want to know, like, what was going through your mind?
So the night before, it was definitely brought up a couple times, but there was just no reasonable way to do it where it wouldn't be collusion or I'd be worried about breaking the terms and conditions. So, you know, there were scenarios where, like, if I got heads up, we'd try to find a way, but I don't think there was any way to actually do it. So I'm very happy that it just played out. You know, Michael heads up never mentioned it to me at all. So I absolutely would have, you know, given away some equity to lock that in, but I'm happy that it worked out like it did.
Well, congratulations on an extra $1 million thanks to WPT Gold. Go enjoy the party.
One more hand and then I'm done.
There's the classic poker lie, one more hand. Reminds me of when I said one more wife back in '98. And there it is. One more hand turned into all-night session. And why not? Would you rather count chips or count sheep? It's not just about playing, it's about winning and proving you've got what it takes. Download now and join the action.
All right, we are back to talk recent tournament winners presented by WPT Global. We're going to get into some bracelet winners here in a minute, but before we do that, I want to talk about the MSPT that was taking place. I think it was the Heart Major, right?
Mm-hmm.
They kind of rebranded this. It was a $1,600 buy-in tournament, and it was won by one Josh Reichard, who we talked about last summer when he won his WPT, topped out the field of 1,051 runners to take this thing down for $212,000, defeating Jessica Vierling in heads-up play. She got $159,000. Josh claiming another MSPT title.
Runs like the sun, Josh. It's funny that you say claiming another MSPT title because I'm in a group chat with Josh and some of my Midwest friends who frequent the MSPT stops. And yes, Josh is an MSPT icon. He's got a lot of accolades. He does really well in those. But we did some research and he actually hadn't won an MSPT since I think it was 2013.
I was at the final table when he won.
And so we had in our group chat, Angela Jordison made a tweet about this, which was really funny. So check that out if you want to. She posted some snapshots. We were all saying what we were doing the last time that Josh won an MSPT. And it was really funny. Burke was like, I was in high school. I'm like, I was in grad school. Angela's like, I was pregnant with my firstborn. So we gave him shit. We gave him a hassle. And the very next MSPT he plays, he ships it. So I think that's some friend run good too. You just got to needle your friends a little bit, give them the motivation.
I'll never forget it because that first one that you mentioned in 2013 was one of the first tournaments I played after winning my bracelet. It was at my home casino in Wisconsin. And he entered the final table as the chip leader. I entered second in chips.
Oh.
And it seemed like we were destined to clash it, but it never happened. We never really even butted heads. I ended up getting unlucky to bust in fifth, and he went on to win it. So I'll always remember that tournament. But congratulations to Josh Reichard. Good start to the summer for him.
Yeah, congrats, Josh.
One of the big stories, Kyle, out of the WSOP was one. So I'm going to tell you where I was at the end of this episode, but I had zero internet access. I didn't know what was happening for the first 10 days of the WSOP. I get off and get back to my phone and get caught up and see that Benny Glaser won not one, but two bracelets.
Back-to-back bracelets.
Beast.
It was insane. Let's see. The first one was, I'm going to make sure I get these in order. So he won back-to-back. So yeah, he won for his 6th bracelet, event number 8, the $1,500 dealer's choice for $150,000, and then wins event number 15, 1,500 mix PLO 8 or better for $258,000, and takes an early lead in the Player of the Year race. I mean, he's got 7 bracelets now. That's insane. I think that ties him with Johnny Moss.
Wow.
Mixed game beast. If that guy runs well at your mixed game final table, good luck. You're just not beating him.
I wish I had him on our fantasy team.
He's on Mike's team, isn't he? I think our team is not doing so well, but we still have hope.
Let me look.
Somebody did well on our team. I can't remember who.
Yeah, it was Mike's last pick too.
Yeah.
Damn. Good job,
Sleeper.
Mike. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. That Player of the Year race is going to be a tight one. Ryan Honig won a bracelet and then finished, I think, 3rd in another tournament, so he's right up there. It's still early.
Yeah.
You know? It's can we see another 3-time bracelet winner if Benny wins another one?
That'd be pretty sick, man. Good luck, Benny.
The sweat is certainly on. Another big tournament that took place was the 10K Stud Championship. This was a big tournament in terms of names. You know, the 127 runners of the biggest in the tournament. Tournament poker, Maury Escandani, Poker Hall of Famer, Adam Friedman, Dan Heimler, Mike Mattisell was there. But in the end, it came down to Nick Guagenti versus Chino Rheem. Chino, looking for his first ever bracelet, has a huge chip lead, but unfortunately doesn't close it out. And it was Nick Guagenti from Ohio taking it down. He's a very well-known grinder. I think it was his 3rd bracelet. This was one that was talked about quite a bit. What did you think about Chino just missing out on that bracelet? You know, love him or hate him. Some people love him, some people hate him.
It's tough. These guys are so competitive at this level and everything. And like, it's such a prestige thing at this point that the fact that they get so close and everything, like I can't obviously speak on it, but it's just like, he just wants the damn bracelet. I don't think it's about the money at this. I don't think it's about the money at that point, and to be so close to it again. Stud's a swingy game, man. It's a swingy game. It can be a bloody game quickly and everything, and that's just kind of a pure example of it, what happened there. And from a competitor perspective, it's tough to see, man, get that close and it just doesn't happen. So it's tough to see.
Well, one player that doesn't have a problem winning bracelets is Brad Ruben, who is well known amongst poker circles here in the U.S. He won event number, let's see, it is, I want to make sure I get it right.
Early.
Number 12, 1,500 no limit, deuce to 7, low ball draw, top of field of 532 runners, won it for $130,000. And what made this quite incredible was it was not only his 5th bracelet, which is hard to do, it was his 5th bracelet in as many years. 5 bracelets, 5 years.
Wow. Okay, you know what's funny too is that when I was in the bounty, he was at my table for like a long time, and I met him, and he's like, "Oh, your Holtz is, you do the podcast with Holtz, like I guess they're friends and stuff." And so we were chatting and having a fun time, and he kept sniping bounties from me left and right. I was like, "That one was mine, man." Like it was just like a fun, it was really fun table. Had a great time, and I think right after he busted that, he jumped in this tournament. And like, because he was like wearing the same hoodie too and stuff. Like when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, it's that guy. And then he just goes ahead and wins it. So good for him, man. Nice run. Good start to the summer. Yeah.
I do want to have a bone to pick with this next story. It was event number 22, the 25K 6-handed high roller, 336 runners, was won by Slovenia's Blaz Zerjav for $1.7 million, defeating Chris Moorman heads up. I have a problem with this one because there was the commentary on it was like, oh, was that an angle shoot? When to me, it was very clearly just a misunderstanding situation.
Yeah, they got to be a little, I didn't watch it, but I feel like the commentators have to be a little more careful about that, like just putting that out there. I don't know. It
was, of course, Poker News did write about it. And I read it when I got done with my little excursion. And like, I actually reported on Blaz Zerjav at the WSOP Paradise last December, was an amazing player and kind of one of those situations where he should have won the bracelet, but got unlucky and didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really happy to see him win the bracelet here because he's just a great player. And I just felt bad like he had to go through that because I watched the clip and to me, it was like clearly not an angle. It was just a mistake. And like you said, we just got to be careful.
Yeah. I mean, maybe let's not just be so quick to judge and say stuff is an angle. Like we need to dwell on it a little bit, investigate a little bit, have other people have eyes on it before you just jump to saying stuff, because then it just creates this masses like, row the troops, like get him, and we don't want to be doing that to people in our community all the time.
Yeah, well, congratulations to him. Now, of course, the World Series of Poker isn't the only game in town or even around the world. In fact, there was a PokerStars Open event in Namur.
Other poker events are happening?
Namur.
Gasp.
Namur is a... Where is Namur? Like, that's a Marvel character. Oh, it's in Belgium. It's in Belgium. Okay. So a PokerStars Open event in Belgium. You know, PokerStars and Poker News, so I got to mention it. It had a 1,572 entry field, was won by France's Jean-Vincent. Jean-Vincent. Lehut.
How many people? 1,500?
1,572.
Nice.
Took it down for 238,000 euros. And then back here in Vegas, of course, the Wynn Summer Classic is going on. They had a 3K ladies high roller event.
I know. I saw.
That was won by, let's see, I want to make sure I get it.
Dusti Smith.
Oh,
man. And she had just like the day before got second in the 2K.
Wow.
Yeah. We were sweating the lady. You know, I mean, you like to see a lady win a bracelet. She got so close. But Dusti plays like a monster, man. She goes for it and she is great. And she's a delight at the table. Every time I played with her, she's wonderful. She's a lovely lady. Keep the heater going, Dusti.
It took $290,000 for that runner-up finish of the WSOP and win $61,000, defeating a field of 76 runners in the ladies high roller. So I love to see it, right? There's high rollers. We report on them all the time. And it was a couple years ago, they introduced seniors high rollers. Mm-hmm. And now they're getting some ladies high rollers in there too.
There's going to be another one at the Venetian during Ladies Week at 2,500. And I'm going to play that one. I didn't play the 3K because I wanted to play the MSPT. But, I'm going to get in there during Ladies Week. That's the time.
Well, that does it for tournament winners that we're going to talk about this episode. We're going to talk about a lot of them in coming episodes. The WSOP is crowning all sorts of winners. PokerNews is also doing stuff down at Golden Nugget, keeping an eye on the Venetian, the Wynn, you name it. So we'll have plenty of other winners coming up. Remember, we're doing 2 episodes a week every Thursday and Sunday. But before we wrap this one up, I want to tell you guys where I was.
Yeah, what's that funny thing around your neck, Chad?
This funny thing around my neck. So I like to participate in these things called live reality games. I have to apply for them, go through interviews, get cast. Basically, the one that I did was based on Survivor. Now, it wasn't the TV show Survivor, but it was called Surviving Reelfoot. It's their 13th season, and I got cast way back at around Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And so I knew it was coming up. I had to take time off work. It was an 8-day game in Western Tennessee in the woods. I'm talking, I had to subside on a half a handful of rice every day, unless we won other rewards.
Did you get treats? I guess we'll have to see.
I mean, it was a lot of fun. I got to meet some interesting people. It was a back and forth affair. Some of the production members said it was their favorite season ever.
Nice.
Which is awesome. And I'm very happy to say, it's a little spoiler alert, but that's fine. It's out there. They will do edited episodes and air them on YouTube later this year, early next year. But I ended up finishing in 3rd place. They only had a final 2. I made it all 8 days. I won the 3 individual immunities. This is the immunity necklace. I was able to buy this after the game. Record tying.
Yeah.
In the history of the show, 3 is the most. So that was pretty cool. And they only had a final 2 this year. Sometimes they do a final 3. They only had a final 2. And so by getting out in 3rd place, it's kind of like a badge of honor. Like, yeah, it sucks that I didn't win. But it was also like, oh, they saw me as enough of a threat that they couldn't let me make it to the end.
So, were you on all the episodes?
I will be on all the episodes. I played every single day, every single challenge of the game.
Yeah.
There's 18 competitors. So to finish 3rd, I got a longer experience than most. I was voted. I got 2 awards by production afterwards. I brought them. So I was voted most.
Oh, very professionally made awards over here. We have
best male strategist, because I was a strategy fiend. And then this one, the debit card pin award, because I had a knack for getting people to do shit that they shouldn't, like give me their debit card. Not exactly, but I got them to give me information and advantages and stuff. So, but no, it was a lot of fun. I got to meet some great people and had just an absolute blast. Like I've done a lot of cool shit in my life, but this ranks right up there as like one of the more fun adventures that I've ever gotten to do. So, but I was away from the WSOP, literally in the woods. With no internet access. It was, if you have to shit, go in the woods and dig a hole. Like
Did everybody smell really bad? That's what I always wonder.
It was
on those
so
shows
nasty.
when I watch, I'm just like, I don't think I could ever do that just because I can't be around smelly people.
It was so nasty. There was a couple fun things like these challenges. There was one called Sumo at Sea, where it was like, you get out to this platform and you got like this bag and it's me and it's somebody else from the other tribe and ready, set, go. And then it's whoever goes in the water first loses, right?
Yeah.
And then I got voted out, unfortunately, but I do have a little clip that I can share. Check it out.
Immunity challenge, you are guaranteed a spot in the final travel council. So first I would like to ask, just on a personal level, how are you feeling at this moment?
I'm very proud. I felt all along that I could do it, but actually doing it, it's what I needed to finish out my game.
Next person voted out of surviving Reelfoot. The final member of our jury, Chad. Anything to report?
Chad? How's it stuck? There's many times throughout this game where I felt you played way too much with your heart and not enough with your head. And you finally did, and it was the right choice. And if the roles were reversed, I would have done the same thing that you did. Good luck, guys.
Thank you, Chad.
All right, so there you have it, a little taste of what I went through, but it was a lot of fun, and hence the necklace, because I just thought, why not? One time, it was such a fun experience for me, and I'll definitely share the links when those episodes do eventually air, and shout out to all my surviving Reelfoot friends now in production. You guys really did give me an experience of a lifetime. Before we wrap things up, I want to plug a couple charity events that are coming up here in Las Vegas. There are 2 charity series of poker, CSOPs, taking place tonight. This is airing on Thursday, so tonight and then Friday. And then on Saturday, there is a Families for Effective Autism Treatment event. These are great events. We have an article on Poker News. I'll link to them in the show notes. I should be there for all 3. Kyna maybe will make an appearance.
I might stop by if I'm not playing. Those are always real fun. I always have a good time. You get to meet a lot of new people that, maybe you haven't met in the wild before. So yeah, come by if you've got time.
And maybe Kyle, I'll talk to the Poker News boss to see if we can't get you over there and do some social media, because that's what you're here doing this summer, right? You're out on the floor capturing. Tell the listeners, viewers, what it is that you will be doing here all WSOP long.
We'll be working digital media for Poker News. Oh my gosh, we're going to be here till the very end, pretty much. We're going to be capturing a lot of good short form content, seeing what's going on around WSOP. I'm going to be playing a little bit. We're going to try to sun run some tournaments. So it's always fun being out here. The energy, man, it's unmatched when you're out here in the WSOP. Just, you can feel the good tension in the room and everything. So it's fun to be out here, and definitely say hi if you see me around.
And hopefully Mike will be able to join us. He's just playing a lot. He can't commit to it. And so we say, if you bust, swing on over. If you're available, Kyna, same with you. You'll be here some, you won't. You'll probably fill in. But I got a whole slate of guests that are going to fill in during the podcast. So for instance, I'm going to have Maria Konnikova on. I am going to have Jamie Gold is going to come over. Jim Reed from the Rec Poker podcast. Jen Shahade from PokerStars US. There's just going to be no shortage. So it should be a lot of fun. And then also, I want to say, you just watched it. Connor Richards, who will definitely be in here this summer. He's got Life Outside Poker podcast. Did an interview with Jennifer Tilley, and you literally just watched it earlier today. I just
watched it, yeah. It's so good. She's so entertaining. She is literally my favorite person in poker, I think. I'm the weird gal that tweets at her like, I hope I meet you soon, Jen. So one of these days when I meet you, Jen, it's going to be weird, and I'm sorry. But it is such a good podcast. She's so entertaining. She's had quite a life, quite a career. She talks about a lot of it. Check it out if you've got some time.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we will be back with 2 episodes every week throughout the 2025 World Series of Poker every Thursday and Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific time. I am Chad Holloway, Kyna England, Kyle Anderson. Until then, we'll keep a seat open for you.